In a case of justice delayed but not denied in the infamous incident involving the killing of a youth Navraj Bika and 5 others, the West Rukum District Court yesterday sentenced 24 culprits to life imprisonment. The landmark verdict has been termed historic by legal experts as a large number of people have been sentenced to life imprisonment in a murder case. Following the incident in May 2020, a probe by the Parliamentary Committee had termed the killings of 6 youths as caste-based discrimination and a crime against humanity. Good morning, I'm Abheudaya Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. 24 individuals involved in the murder of 6, including Navraj Bika, slapped life sentence. 2 more found guilty of caste-based discrimination. Investigations reveal 80% stake of Ncell sold for 66 billion rupees and not 6 billion rupees as disclosed earlier. Massive foul play suspected to evade taxes. 16 people killed in a bus crash in the central province of Antique in the Philippines. Another 12 people dead and 25 injured in a bus accident in Honduras. And Sporting Ilam FC taking on Pokhara Thunders in today's match under the Nepal Super League. A win for Pokhara will take them to the top of the league table. The Rukum West District Court has found 24 individuals guilty for the murder of 6 individuals, including Navraj Bika, over the issue of intercaste marriage. The court slapped them life sentence. The court had issued the verdict after the conclusion of hearing on the case from legal representatives of both sides. Continuous hearing was held on charges including murder, attempted homicide and caste-based discrimination since Sunday at the bench of Rukum West District Court Judge Khadga Bahadur Kesi. Navraj Bika and his friends Sandip Bika, Tikaram Sunar, Ganesh Buddha, Lokendra Sunar and Govinda Shahi were chased and killed by the villagers when the 6 had gone to Soti village of Chaur Jahari, Municipality 8 in Rukum West on 23rd of May 2020. After a complaint was registered by Munal Nepali, the father of Navraj, the case was filed against 34 individuals, including then ward chairperson of Chaur Jahari 8, Dambar Bahadur Malla. 11 of them were released on bail, while 23 were held for judicial custody. Preliminary investigations have revealed that 80% stake of telecommunication service provider Ncell was sold for 66 billion rupees against what was earlier reported. Documents have established that Ncell shares that were said to be sold for 6.65 billion rupees were transacted for at least 66.5 billion rupees. After criticism was received from all quarters saying that Ncell was sold at a lesser price to evade tax money, the government has decided to launch an investigation into the case. It is said that investigation on the transactions of shares of Ncell would be carried out as per the legal provision of the Ministry of Information and Technology and following international law and practices. In the statement released by the ministry, it has been mentioned that detailed study and investigation would be conducted on the consequences of the deal on Nepal's telecommunication sector, foreign investment, Nepal government's revenue, among others. The government has also committed of taking action against everyone involved if the investigation concludes of irregularities. Concluding the transaction related to the shares of telecommunication service provider entity Ncell dubious, parties of the ruling coalition have suggested the government to investigate the matter. A meeting of the coalition held at the official residence of the Prime Minister in Balwatar yesterday evening concluded that companies registered in Nepal had to operate by following Nepal's laws and regulations. According to Nepali Congress Chief Whip Ramesh Lekhak, the meeting suggested the government to investigate the legal aspects of the transaction of shares of Ncell. The meeting was attended by CPN Maoist Center Chairperson and Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal, Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba, CPN Unified Socialist Chairperson Madhav Kumar Nepal, Janata Samajwadi leader Rajendra Shrestha, and Loktantrik Samajwadi Party's Mahanta Thakur. The senior leaders had also invited Minister for Home Affairs Narayan Kaji Shrestha, Finance Minister Prakash Sharan Mahat, Minister for Communication and Information Technology Rekha Sharma, and Minister for Law Dhanaraj Gurung. along with officials of related departments to seek information about existing laws, procedures, and actions. Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister Narayan Kaji Shrestha has undergone an angioplasty surgery at the Gangalal National Heart Center in the capital's Bansbari as he complained of chest discomfort. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal visited the hospital earlier this morning to inquire about Minister Shrestha's health condition. Shrestha, who was admitted at the hospital yesterday evening, underwent an angioplasty surgery as problem was detected in the blood vessels of the left arteries of his heart. The Secretariat of Minister Shrestha has informed that his health condition is stable at the moment. Minister Shrestha had also undergone an angioplasty surgery about 2 months ago while he was on a trip to China after experiencing chest pains. Sandip Raji, one of the individuals alleged of involvement in the fake Bhutanese refugee scam, has assaulted a journalist of Kantipur television. Sandip assaulted Kantipur television journalist Sanjay Luitel while recording visuals at the Kathmandu District Court yesterday. Police had presented Sandip at the district court after Patan High Court issued a bail of 3 million rupees. While being taken to the police vehicle, Sandip assaulted Luitel as the mic of the camera suffered damages while Luitel suffered some injuries. Sandip is the son of former Deputy Prime Minister Bahadur Raji, who is in judicial custody in the fake Bhutanese refugee scam. Based on the verdict of the High Court, Sandip has presented a bank guarantee of 3 million rupees. Despite the bail, Sandip is also being investigated by the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority and the Department of Money Laundering Investigation. Minister for Energy, Water Resources and Irrigation, Sakti Bahadur Basnet, has said that Nepal has a target of increasing the number of households that use electricity for cooking to 25% within the next 5 years. Addressing the Electrifying Cooking, a Just Journey Towards Net Zero session of the UN Climate Change Conference held in Dubai yesterday, Minister Basnet presented the fact that 54% households in the country are still dependent on traditional way of cooking by using firewood and agricultural residues. He said that this was one of the major causes of environment pollution in the country. Minister Basnet said that 98% of the total population in the country had access to electricity and that the government has a target of ensuring every citizen has access to electricity by the next 2 years. He also added that Nepal has a target of generating 28,000 megawatts of electricity within the next 12 years and achieving zero carbon emission by 2045. In the meantime, speaking during the Forward Faster, the Road in 2030 session held yesterday, climate expert Bhushan Tuladar said that Nepal is capable of addressing the climate crisis and discussed the country's efforts in promoting green energy. He added that sustainable development was only possible with a lifestyle that includes a blend of culture and nature. During the session, CEO and founder of Rumsan Governance and Intervention Manager for Climate Change Adaptation Isimode, Pradumna Rana, Joint Secretary at the Ministry for Energy Sanji Baral, and founder of non-governmental organization Digo Pranali, Sricha Pradhan, also presented their views on the efforts made by Nepal to address climate change. Local levels have witnessed the absence of the Chief Administration Officer since the implementation of the system of local government. The situation remains the same, although public representatives have been elected for the second time. Around 200 local levels have been affected, with the post of the Chief Administration Officer being vacant. Meanwhile, more than 100 local levels have been operating with acting officials. Service delivery have also been affected due to controversy regarding the trend of appointing the Chief Administration Officer based on political reach. Deputy Chairperson of Galchi Rural Municipality in Dhading, Bika Tiwari, as well as a number of other ward chairpersons, padlocked the local administration office, citing political ploy by Chairperson of Galchi Rural Municipality, Kedarnath Khatiwada, after he appointed the Chief Administration Officer on his own. The administrative officer, who had arrived only 2 weeks ago, has not been able to work. The services provided by the local administration office have remained halted due to differences among the public representatives. Similar is the condition of Nilkantha municipality that is being led by Chairperson Bhim Prasad Dhungana, who is also the former head of the Municipal Association of Nepal. 9 administrative officers were appointed during the term of Dhungana. The administrative officers have not been able to remain at the designated local level due to the leadership's tendency to make changes as per their preference. According to the provision, the Chief Administration Officer is appointed at the local levels by the Ministry of Federal Affairs and General Administration. According to the ministry, the post of the Chief Administration Officer is currently vacant at 104 municipalities, 80 rural municipalities, and 6 sub-metropolises. The local levels do not accept the officers appointed by the ministry, while experts say that a roster must be prepared for proper management. Financial transactions, administrative division, development works, and service delivery have remained halted at these local levels. The public had hoped for ease in service delivery after the implementation of federalism. However, the trend of public representatives seeking officials as per their wish has promoted irregularities and corruption. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. What should be done to increase soil fertility? Your options are A, balanced use of fertilizers, B, organic farming, and C, regular soil tests. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Number of patients with cold, asthma, and fever has begun increasing at hospitals in Kathmandu. As the temperature is certain to dip further, hospitals have said that the number of patients is likely to increase in days ahead. Of around 500 patients who reach the general outpatient department of Bir Hospital on a daily basis, around 40 to 50% report cold-related ailments. Until a week ago, around 10 to 15% patients reported weather-induced difficulties. The number of patients reaching the Patan Hospital because of such ailments has also increased by 15%. The situation is similar at the Tribhuvan University Teaching Hospital in Maharajganj, where around 25% of daily OPD patients are reporting such diseases. Doctors have said that patients suffering from cold, cough, and asthma have increased in number. They have added that senior citizens and individuals with long-term illness, asthma, and weak immunity are likely to be worst affected by the cold weather. They have also urged everyone to stay warm to avoid cold-induced ailments. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces regarding ways to develop a sense of volunteering in every citizen. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
समाजलाई सेवा गरौँ समाजतिर अगाडि बढाउँ दिन दुखीलाई सेवा गरौँ भन्ने त्यो चाहियो भने मात्र त्यो सेवा गर्न सक्छ
पीडितको ठाउँमा चाहिँ आफूलाई राखेर हेर्नु पर्यो के जब आफू पीडामा परिन्छ तब त्यो अनुभूति हुन्छ भने त्यसले पक्कै पनि स्वयंसेवकको भावना विकास गर्न सक्छ
स्वयंसेवक एउटा जेनेटिक पनि हुन्छ परिवारबाट इफेक्ट पार्छ मनदेखि नै समाजको सेवा गरौँ भन्ने भावना जाग्यो भनेदेखि समाज सेवा गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ
आमा बुवाहरूले नानी बाबुहरूलाई सिकाउनु पर्छ
स्कुल तहबाट जो यो नैतिक शिक्षाका कुराहरू अनि गरी पढाउनु पर्छ
समाज सेवा गर्नको लागि आफै भित्रबाट त्यो प्रेरणाहरू जाग्नु पर्छ
आफ्नै त्यो भावनाबाट आफ्नै प्रेरित भएको हुन्छ उनीहरूले चाहिँ राम्रो काम पनि गरेको छ
It's time now for the international updates. A bus in the Philippines carrying dozens of people lost its brakes and fell off a cliff in the central province of Antique, killing at least 16 people. Antique Governor Rodora Cadiao said 8 people were in critical condition in hospitals while 4 were stable. The number of confirmed deaths was lower than the 28 reported earlier in local media. Governor Cadiao said the passenger bus traveling from Iloilo province was on its way to the town of Kulasi in Antique on Tuesday afternoon when its brakes malfunctioned on a winding road and it plunged down 30 meters into a ravine. Meanwhile, in another accident, a bus in Honduras skidded off a highway and fell into a ravine yesterday, killing at least 12 people and injuring around 24 others. According to police officials, the bus carrying nearly 60 people crashed into a bridge before tipping into a stream at the bottom of the ravine about 41 kilometers from Tegucigalpa. According to Fire Brigade Lieutenant Christian Sevilla, 12 people were killed and 25 injured in the accident. Officials said the seriously injured had been taken to the hospital by ambulance and helicopter. President Xiomara Castro said on social media the government had declared 3 days of national mourning. Top UN officials are warning of a threatening situation in war-torn Gaza with no place safe to go for civilians as Israel's war with Hamas spreads to the south, where many had previously sought refuge. UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees says humanitarian operations are at breaking point as Israeli military intensifies attacks in the south of the besieged enclave. According to the head of the Norwegian Refugee Council, the pulverizing of Gaza ranks among the worst assaults on any civilian population. Israel's military said its troops are in the heart of Khan Yunis in southern Gaza and have completed the encirclement of the Jabalia refugee camp in the northern part of the enclave. The UN's humanitarian agency said tens of thousands of internally displaced Palestinians have arrived in Gaza's southernmost governorate of Rafah over the past 2 days as it warned of overcrowding and the spread of disease. Another UN agency said almost 1.9 million people, more than 80% of Gaza's population, have now been displaced. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday said the Israel Defense Forces should retain control for the disarmament of Gaza after the war, rejecting the idea that an international force could be responsible for security in the Gaza Strip. A senior Hamas official said there will be no negotiations with Israel unless it halts its Gaza offensive. Israeli leaders pledged to press on with the war.
Sports news.
Sporting Ilam FC are taking on Pokhara Thunders in today's match under the Nepal Super League. The match at the capital's Dasrat Stadium is scheduled for 5 p.m. kickoff. Ilam and Pokhara are both playing their fourth match of the Nepal Super League. Ilam, with 3 points from as many matches, are in the 6th position of the points table. They lost to Kathmandu Razors in the opening match before registering a win against Chapa FC in the second. However, they lost to Butol Lumbini in the last encounter to lag behind in the points table. Coached by Meghraj Kesi, Ilam will go all out in the match today for crucial points. Pokhara, on the other side, have not lost a match, having registered 1 win and 2 draws with 5 points. Currently in the 3rd position, a win today will propel Pokhara to the top of the league table. Dhangari are in the top position with 7 points from 3 matches by virtue of 2 wins and 1 draw. Lalitpur are in the 2nd position with 5 points. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.